So for the 2024 season, all the 10 Formula One teams will have one driver and their livery on a car competing in F1 Academy.
Yeah.
Which is really good news. It makes it feel like it's less of an offshoot and part of Formula One. It's going to help bring more women into the sport because the academies are going to be set up to include female drivers, which means they're like, oh, she's really good. Maybe we should try her out in the Formula One car.
Give her a free practice session type thing, whoever it is. But yes, so if you don't know what on earth F1 Academy is for some reason, F1 Academy is currently a 15 driver championship, and it's set to stay that way for 2024 as well. But it is exclusively women who are driving in this championship. And that's pretty much it. It's nothing else out of the ordinary. At the moment, I believe there are 5 teams with 3 different drivers each, making up the 15 drivers. And I would love to tell you all about the fantastic racing and stuff like that. But of course, it's been a struggle to watch any W Series F1 Academy related stuff. Sorry, not W Series. Any F1 Academy related stuff this season. So hopefully this will also mean that it's even easier to watch for fans, especially because I think that the aim of this series is for it to be a support series next year in 2024, meaning that it will be on the same weekends as the Formula One race weekends, a bit like F2 or F3 or the Porsche Super Cup as well. So I think it's really, really good that essentially all 10 Formula One teams have decided to chip in type thing and support this series as well. And not only is it going to be good, promotion for all 10 of the Formula One teams, or 11 or 12, depending on what on earth happens in 2026, but also it's going to be good to see the support for this series as well grow, because hopefully it's something which can grow, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is a step in the right direction. I think it's going to set up, if they don't have driver academies beforehand, some of these teams will need driver academies for the drivers. And if they do, well, it's opening up to more drivers, essentially, more female drivers as well, which is good. Having the liveries on there makes it feel a little bit more legitimate and less... I don't mean this in a bad way around F2 or F3, but it doesn't feel like it's F1 because they are essentially their own racing series and their own sponsors and own cars.
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
Whereas if you have the liveries on these cars, it makes it feel more F1-esque and maybe lends a little bit more weight and credence to the sport doing more for women in motorsport. So I hope it then allows more women into motorsport in terms of engineering and strategy and team principles and everything like that. And the big key thing is, will we get it on TV?
I sure hope so, or at the very least, it's on F1 TV. That would be a step in the right direction at the very least. But hopefully, this will be the end, or next season will be the end of the licensing issues. Seemingly, hopefully, we can get that sorted. But they're talking about this more as a long-term option for like women in motorsports, which is really good, because obviously W Series, which was around for 6 months, was it? No, 6 months for one season and then a full season the season before, and Jamie Chadwick essentially won both. I mean, hopefully it lasts a bit longer than W Series as well.
It'll be interesting to see what they mean by liveries. Is it just an orange for a McLaren, a red for a Ferrari, or are they including sponsors in there? Because if they are, sponsors are like, if we're on there, we want to be shown on TV. Or is it more, we've got the Ferrari badge, we've got the red Ferrari, we've got Ferrari on the wing or McLaren on the side, etc.
I'm imagining it would be almost like female football teams compared to male football teams. So they will have the same kit sponsor or the same engine supplier in this scenario. And then let's say, for example, I know that the Liverpool women's football team was sponsored by Nivea. But then that was their shirt sponsor, I believe, off the top of my head anyway. But then the men's was Standard Chartered. And so essentially I imagined that it would be something similar where some would stay the same, but then some would be tailored maybe for more of a female market, maybe. I don't really know.
Or is it just we've got the livery, but you have your own sponsors on there?
Yeah.
And maybe that might attract more sponsors, like if they're on a Ferrari car, a McLaren, a Mercedes.
True.
So that could be something good, but it's a step in the right direction, which is good.
Absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see how it came about, because I know Stefano has been talking about, I wonder if it's like the brainchild of Susie Wolf or something like that. It'll be good to understand more behind how this decision came about, but it's a good decision. It's a step in the right direction, and hopefully they'll continue to make steps in that direction to legitimize that sport.
Yes, absolutely. And by the looks of things, 10 of the drivers of the current 15 this season will be nominated by Formula One teams, and each team will have their livery on the car, is exactly what it says. So essentially, I think that now the teams will also have a little bit of a silly season battle going on, where they will have to try and sign one of these incredible drivers as well. So that could make for quite interesting, play, I guess. Because I know that, for example, for Rodin Carlin, who is one of the W Series teams, they are sponsored by Alpine, or there's a very close association with Alpine, and they have 3 drivers. So which one do they pick? You know, maybe Alpine are, the main sponsor, but then BWT come in and they decide to sponsor a second driver. So one of the remaining 5 drivers, you never really know. So that could make for like very interesting.
Well, hopefully that could mean, you know what? Instead of 10, we make it 20.
Yeah, they might extend it. I don't really know. But like I said, I just knew that they had some sort of pre-existing relationship, and I also know that Ferrari have a pre-existing relationship with Prema as well. So Ferrari will probably pick one of the 3 Prema drivers as well, and obviously with Ferrari being part of it as well, that means that more than likely one of these Prema F1 Academy drivers will also be representing Haas as well. So there's some easy links and stuff like that you can potentially make essentially through all of these teams, which is quite interesting. But either way, it's going to be really interesting to see exactly what happens. And like I said, hopefully one of these teams like manages to pick up one of the best ones, and we get our first F1 Academy world champion, but it's for the team. So can you imagine if like Haas were constructor champions for this or something like that? It could throw up some real surprises. I'm looking as well at the same time. I know that Art Grand Prix are also sort of backed a bit by Sauber, so Alfa Romeo as well. So Alfa Romeo are sort of tied to at least one of their drivers as well. So this is what I mean. There are quite a few links already there between Formula One teams and these F1 Academy teams as well. So I think there are some safe bets and there are some which are completely up in the air. But we'll have to wait and see.
Let's wait and see. Yeah. And as of 2024, F1 Academy will be at every race weekend.
Everywhere? What? So all 24?
All 24 races, yeah.
Okay, wasn't expecting that.
So, and in 2024, the F1 Academy calendar will be aligned with F1. Domenicali said on Sky Sports F1. F1 Academy will be on the racing weekend with Formula One. Of course, not everywhere, but that'll be part of the plan to promote Formula One Academy.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. So, like, it would be like F2. Sometimes with Formula One, there is no F2 associated with the weekend. So, I don't know how many F2 race weekends there are, actually. How many F2 race weekends are there? So, F2, there are 14 rounds.
Okay, so it could be something similar.
Probably something similar. Or it could be that we have the 14 rounds of F2, and then the 10 rounds which they don't go to is where F1 Academy go.
Oh, that's a very good shout.
So that essentially you just replace F2 with F1 Academy.
Yeah, so there's always something every race weekend.
Yeah.
But at least they're there. on the race weekend. So
Yes.
that means that hopefully people will at least be able to see it live.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and then
Steps in the right direction.
Obviously, if it's then aligned with the rest of the calendar as well, that means that more than likely, that it would be on F1 TV.
Well, I wonder if F1 TV would do something a la Drive to Survive.
So
just show
F1
behind
TV,
the scenes.
They have a series about F2 drivers.
Okay.
It's called like
I don't know. Unfortunately, we don't get F1 TV in the UK. So
it's called like Chase the Dream or Chasing the Dream. Chasing the Dream. That's what it's called. Right. So they do something like that for F2 already. The latest episode, season 5, episode 10, is 10 minutes long. So it's like mini episodes, or not mini episodes, but short episodes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. If they could, because look how popular Drive to Survive has made the sport, and if they could do something similar for F1 Academy, again, steps in the right direction. So
absolutely,
it could be something that F1 TV. But then this is where you go. Okay, we're going to put some budget in. We'll produce it, but we'll hire female directors and female, all that. Female camera women and stuff.
Female
like
content creators. And
exactly.
Something that always gets me, though, right, is how in men's football, 99% of the time, it's a man managing the men's football.
Yeah.
But then it's also a man managing in the women's football, typically. So, like, maybe they also say, hey, directors, like all team bosses type team principals, maybe they all have to be women as well. There could also be some sort of thing around that too. I doubt it, but I don't know. I'm just asking the question.
That's down to experience, right?
Yeah, true.
They've not had the opportunity to build the experience to become a team principal.
Yeah.
And as someone like, who was it for Sauber? Manisha Kaltenborn? And who was the one for Williams? Her daughter's name?
Claire Williams,
yeah. But maybe once they bring them up as engineers, as drivers, they'll have that experience and maybe be able to go on to become team principals and race engineers and performance engineers.
Maybe that's
etc.
Maybe that's something that Claire Williams comes back and does.
Yeah, that could be something.
Especially Williams are going to be supporting one of the drivers and one of the racing teams.
Yeah.
So that would actually make sense.
That would make sense.
But you never know. But either way, absolutely positive news and steps in the right direction for sure.
Yep. Look forward to being able to see something.
Yes. Yeah. Hopefully we can actually watch some racing, which would be absolutely amazing.